Hello, my friends. It's a Toe Man once again. Today, I want to talk to you about my top 5 favorite items of Metazoo that are not card related, and my 5 least favorite. A little tidbit about me: I'm giving out a little bit of info every video. Although I have 2 degrees, mathematics, a bachelor's of science in mathematics, and a bachelor's of arts in philosophy, I've had some of the worst jobs you can think of. Worked at a chemical engineering plant. I worked as like a day laborer. We had to move furniture and stuff all day long. This is post graduation too. I had degrees. It was the recession at that point. My worst job though was I once had to clean a cemetery in the middle of the winter. There was a bad snowstorm, knocked down all these trees, and by hand I had to pick up sticks for 12 hours. I think it was. We had an hour break. Worst thing, worst job I ever had. Anyway, let's get to the list. I'm gonna start with the my least favorite 5, and then I'll go with my top 5. So my this is pretty bad. This is one of my. I could do a whole probably series on these. The poor masks. So the mask came out in the Halloween set. It was the first. It wasn't the first Halloween set. It wasn't even the second Halloween set, but it was a short printed run of Halloween masks and cards, and they were late. They didn't show up in time for Halloween. I was gonna pass them out to kids, so I just ripped them all. Those masks were really cheap, thin plastic. It was like the 80s and late 70s mask of Halloween where it was just a piece of plastic that you put on with a string behind. Yeah, awful design. They look terrible. They were super cheaply made. I still need the injured cold one though, so if anyone has an extra one, hit me up. Another one that's on my least favorite list are the stuffed animals. Now, I know people are going to be like, oh, the stuffed animals, those are really cool. They were cool, but they were inconsistent. Some of them were 2,000 print, some of them were a couple hundred print, some were really high quality, some were low quality, they were serialized, some weren't. Most of them were serialized. Some came with a promo. They were all overpriced. They were like $40 out the gate. You just wait now. You can get them from Quote for a dollar to maybe a couple bucks more for one of the higher end ones. Didn't like them. It wasn't a fan. Another one was the pin clubs. Pin clubs, including everything: the pins, the clubs, the keychains, all that stuff. The hit rates were terrible. You got the same pin, the same whatever, 1,000 times. Besides the rates being terrible, they were really high priced. People were just buying boxes and boxes to get the hits. The hits weren't even all that great. The quality of the card weren't all that great. Just a miss for me all around. I do like the pins. It's hard to get the pins that you want. So it is what it is. Another one were the skateboards. Now hear me out. I have skateboards. I have a ton of them. But when it came out, they were $100. They were difficult to. You needed to pay $25 because it was difficult to ship. They took forever, and a lot of people got screwed over. That's about it. The quality of the skateboards, phenomenal, phenomenal. But they chose some weird ones to make. Like they made what was it Energy Being? Why is Energy Being on a skateboard? There's just it was Robo Flowers. There's just a lot of odd picks for the skateboards, and just the drama behind them just made for one of the least favorite items that ever come out in the MetaZoo. NFTs got to be in the top one. NFTs is by far the worst one, just because it's a scam. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, they just used it as a method to forever make money. Every time they sell one, they still make money off of it. I think they probably still make money off of it to this day, despite that. NFTs portion is not active anymore. It's an odd situation. I was never a fan of anything like that, so that really soured a lot of people. Now let's get to the good stuff. The top 5. Top 5, no particular order. The binders. The binders were great. Really high quality. I don't know who made them, but they were great. You can put whatever you wanted in them. You didn't have to be Metazoo. I have a ton of them. I love them. They stack up really nice. They're high quality. Just great. Second one would be toys. The toys were really nice. They were short printed because the company that made them went out of business. But I think there's a Sinkhole Sam and a Pink Blob. I think that's the only two that they made. Actually, no, they made there's like an electrical one. There was like a electric Phantom one. So three of them that they made. And I actually got one of them off a stream with LPA. I had COVID at the time. I was sleeping in my daughter's room. So isolate from the rest of the family because nobody else had it. And it was a giveaway at the end. He had ended the stream, and then a lot of people left. He said, "Oh, I'm giving away this signed one. It was signed by all the artists, and somehow there's 100 people in that room, but I won it. So that is one of my cherished possessions. It's still up there on the shelf. It used to be a whole wall of Metazoo. Now it's just a couple items, and that's one of the items that's still up there. So the toys were cool. The shirts, I'm gonna loop just apparel. The shirts, high quality, love them. The hats, really good quality. I wear my Metazoo hat every time I coach baseball because it's the same colors as the team. That was such a great. I mean, I know Dimac and Aoki was involved in Metazoo as partial owner, so he had access to all that from years and years of being in the industry. So yeah, that was an easy in for them. But yeah, just great quality. Never been an issue. Never got a torn up shirt or anything like that. The sizes fit. They're pre shrunk, and they had a lot of great variety, especially the really rare ones. They're just amazing. All the shirts were really good. All the hats were really cool. And then my last one, so I guess I looped all apparel in two different sections, but my number one item, non-card merchandise item from Metazoo is the UFO lunchboxes. Those lunchboxes were so good. So good. I can't even explain to you how good they were. It was a lunchbox. Some cars were in it. Not talking about the cars, though. I'm talking about all the other stuff that are non-car related. I had two pencils. I don't know why I had pencils in it. I guess because it wanted to be like school related. Nobody used the pencils. But it had a giant coin, like a massive freaking coin. I don't know why would they. But it's just a cool, gigantic coin. There was a thermos. The thermos is really good. I use the thermos for work. Still, I use the lunchbox to hold cards in. It holds cards in perfectly. I think that was everything that was in it. There was the giant coin. There was a poster, but it was just a junky piece of paper. There was promos and there was cards in it. There was dice in it, dice, and there were also indicators in there as well. Really nice, nicest thing that they ever put out. I think really it was probably my favorite thing about Metazoo was that at that point. They were expensive at the time, but then it came down to price and they were really nice to have. So I really enjoyed that. Honorable mention, I guess we talk about Metazoo, the new Metazoo. My favorite product so far in the new Metazoo was the thank you boxes. The thank you boxes were really well put together. The art inside was really cool. It's just a hodgepodge of characters, but really nice, well made, really nice gesture. Came with the magazines in there. Came with all kinds of other stuff. Came with cards, but it came with a lot of cool stuff in it. So that's got to be my honorable mention of the new Metazoo, my favorite item so far. I want to hear from you. What are your favorite non-card related items? Was it like the tarot card decks? Uh, tarot cards, even though it's so card, it wasn't part of the TCG. It was used in TCG, but it was alongside of it. Maybe there's another product that you liked. Did you like the shoes? The shoes were really cool. Like the hoodies. I guess that's still apparel. You tell me. I want to hear from you. All right, y'all. There's three things I always ask for you. Be cool, do good, and be nice to each other.